If you weren't aware, May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month. And joining us right now to go over some safety tips is board-certified dermatologist and medical director of Art of Skin, MD, Dr. Melanie Palm. Dr. Palm, good morning. So great to have you on.
Good to see you, Liz.
And I had just mentioned to Jason that it had been a while since we chatted with you, but here we are. It's great to see you, and this is no better time to talk to you about our skin and safety tips, especially with the heat that we're starting to see come into San Diego. It's a good time to be reminded.
Absolutely, and there's a very special day tomorrow. As some of your viewers may know, May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and tomorrow is National Melanoma Day. So we're definitely going to talk about sun protection and one of the deadliest forms of skin cancer.
Yeah, and what are some of those? Because we're coming out of what the winter months, and sometimes we let our guard down, even though we shouldn't, right? Because the sun really never goes away. But now's the time to really put into practice the safety tips.
Absolutely. Even though we've had some May gray, it's surprising we still get about 80% of the UV exposure. And we know ultraviolet light is a big sort of deciding factor in whether our skin decides to produce a melanoma or other forms of skin cancer. Shockingly, and this is sort of a new statistic, about 9,500 of us are diagnosed with a skin cancer daily here in the US. So at least 1 in 5 of us during my lifetime will be affected by skin cancer. Shockingly, I still see it in 20s and 30-year-olds, as well as my octogenarians. So I think everybody should be really aware of it. There's also some new statistics that came out of our dermatology literature. So there's a lot of misinformation about, is a base tan safe? And, is shade a place that we should really seek sort of protection from the sun? Our survey results show that more than 50% still don't understand that. And there was a JAMA report, which is our big journal in dermatology, that showed there's a lot of misconceptions about what is an SPF and what does it mean for you. So I think we have a lot to do for the education of our consumers and for our patients to protect their skin.
Yeah, those are kind of shocking numbers. And you alluded to shade, but shade is definitely what you want to seek, especially during certain times of the day, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Liz. So basically from 10 to 4, when the sun is sort of directly overhead, really seek shade. Make sure that you're using sun protection or clothing. There's something called a UPF factor that can really protect your skin. We like you to see a UPF of 50 or above. If you're wearing sunscreen, it should be broadband, so it should cover UVA and UVB, and be at least SPF 30 or more. I personally like the ingredients to show either zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, which are mineral-based sunscreens, very safe on the skin, and they're physical blockers.
Okay, that's great advice. And let's remind folks too that watching our skin, being mindful of protecting our skin is not just outdoors. I mean, you are also referring to, for example, indoor tanning.
Yeah. So, I grew up in Missouri, and I'm sad to admit that one time before spring break, I actually sat in an indoor tanning bed. And this was obviously before I knew I wanted to be a dermatologist. But that one exposure actually increases my lifetime chance of developing melanoma by 59%. So indoor tanning is not safe. We really recommend, if, we know vitamin D is produced when you get sun exposure, but we don't want you to get a tan because that's actually a sign of DNA damage on your skin. So I want everybody to enjoy the outdoors, but just please be mindful. You need to reapply sunscreen. You need to be careful with your skin. And then early detection is key. We want you to look for the ABCDEs in terms of changing lesions on your skin. And if you notice something new changing, doesn't seem right, is the ugly duckling, please go see a board-certified dermatologist so we can take a look at it, biopsy it, and take care of it if it's needed.
I love that. Know the ABCD and D and E's of melanoma. One of the things I learned from you early on, Dr. Palm, I got to admit, is in addition to taking all of these tips in mind and putting them into practice, right? I remember learning that there are certain things that you can eat that can actually help with, combating exposure to the sun. Can you go over that? Because I think that that's something that many of us may not think of, of what's in certain types of food that can actually help your skin.
Sure, absolutely. I think in general, sort of adhering to a Mediterranean diet that is rich in lots of antioxidants and anti-inflammatories is very helpful in preventing all sorts of forms of inflammation. But we know from published studies that actually drinking green tea, it's a very potent polyphenol, helps with sort of subduing some of the potential for sunburn. So it's certainly not a substitute for sunscreen, but if you are in the habit of drinking green tea, and look what I've got right here.
Ah.
It is helpful with sun exposure. And in addition, there's actually a supplement that's an extract from a fern plant called Polypodium leucotomus is the name of the plant. And it has 7 published studies that help from everything from helping to increase the threshold before we burn to preventing actinic keratoses to the most recent study actually showed that it reduced some of the damage that happens from high energy blue light. So that's what's emitted from my laptop right now, what's in our smart devices, and really important even indoors to protect your skin.
Wow, that's crazy. Dr. Melanie Palm, always in the know, always providing us with some very practical, useful information to help keep us safe. It's so great to talk to you. And we will be mindful of the fact that it is May and May gray. That doesn't mean you can't get a sunburn. I know. I will say it over and over to myself to apply that sunscreen. Thank you, Dr. Palm. Great to see you.
Yeah. Bye, Liz.
Bye. Take care.